to defend ourselves. And so this, shutting down Milo Yiannopoulos and doing whatever is necessary to do that, is our right to self-defense.
It's just absolutely horrific what's going on. It's horrible. It's disgusting what's going on right now. And it's one thing to protest someone's right to come here and speak, but it's another thing to create this much amount of destruction and violence and hurt and harm to other people.
I just came to see if I could get into the Milo event. I support free speech. You know, it's Sproul Plaza, sort of birthplace of campus free speech. So I decided to come to see if I could get in, see what he had to say, and see the marketplace of free speech ideas come about. And it just got shut down by a bunch of people in black bloc, you know, protester masks.
The event was, the decision to cancel the event was made by the police department after they determined they were no longer able to provide security for the speaker and needed to evacuate him immediately from the campus, bringing the event to an end. What's really unfortunate tonight is that the violent actions of a very few interfered with the desires of the many to participate in legal and lawful protest and to attend an event that was completely covered and protected by the First Amendment. It's not a proud day for this campus, the home of the free speech movement. The violence was deplorable, and there's really nothing to be proud about in terms of what happened here tonight.
Tonight, you knew there were going to be protests, and then violence erupted, and you had to leave. Is that correct? And fill in the blanks for us.
Right. Well, we knew there would be protests from the social media activity. We knew from the police. I have a pretty good sense of when things are going to get a bit rowdy, and we knew that UC Berkeley was going to be a problem, not least because they have a big free speech problem. Obviously, it's a liberal campus, so they hate any libertarians or conservatives who dare to express an opinion on their campuses. They particularly don't like me. And so this evening we got into the building, started preparing for the show, and people started arriving in black clothes and masks. They were clearly carrying concealed shields and weapons and things. And then stuff started being hurled at the building. There were rocks being thrown, various other things being thrown at the building. Eventually, the ground floor was breached, and I was evacuated.
Who evacuated you?
My security detail. I have an excellent team of Navy SEALs, various other people, and some of the police from the.
So
I mean, the local area.
Tell me if I'm misreading this, but this looks like the nightmare scenario. This looks like political violence designed to squelch opinions the perpetrators of that violence disagree with. Am I reading it correctly?
That's exactly what it is. And what's particularly scary and should be particularly troubling is it not only happened on an American college campus, you know, supposedly in the land of the free, you know, these are these places where you should be able to engage with different ideas, places where you should be able to hear speakers. And students who come to my talks who don't necessarily agree with me but just want to hear the other side, they were prevented from doing so this evening by violence from the left that is terrified of anyone who they think might be persuasive or might be interesting or might take people with them. You know, I am not, you know, a scary far-right, you know, kind of a neo-Nazi as some of the posters claim. They put those things on posters to try to legitimize their own violence against me and against my supporters. Instead, I'm just a sort of libertarian, gay, Trump-supporting provocateur who likes to, you know, present interesting arguments. And we have good fun shows with huge sold-out audiences, very, very popular. I'm probably the hardest ticket on American college campuses. Students absolutely love me, but there's more loud just left that just cannot tolerate anyone popular on campus who does not subscribe to their own crazy views.
I mean, I guess the point isn't what your political views are. I would be every bit as outraged and afraid if I disagreed with your views, and I'm sure I do disagree with some of your views. That's hardly the point. The point is your political views were squelched by violence, and the irony, of course, is that people calling you a Nazi were using violence to intimidate you into shutting up, which seems like a kind of hallmark.
These are people.
Right.
No, this is exactly the same thing happened when my book was announced. My book shot to the top of the Amazon bestseller chart within 24 hours of being announced, and people were saying they were going to burn, calling me a fascist. They really don't appreciate the irony of that. And of course, if you don't agree with my positions, you should be particularly worried about people on your own side trying to squelch this stuff with violence, because you know, my whole thing is, you know, the left is profoundly antithetical to free speech these days, does not want to hear alternative points of view, and will do anything to shut them down. My point is being proven to me over and over and over again.
It's remarkable. Milo, will you stay with us? We're going to reset into the Hannity Hour, but we want to keep you there. So I want you to stay with us. We've got breaking news in progress. We're going to be right back with live coverage.